Awesome. So I found this several years ago. I was actually on LinkedIn where I found um, this article.
And so this is from the book. It's an excerpt from the book Atomic Habits. And if you haven't read Atomic Habits, you should. It is a really good book.
So this is by James Clear, and let's make sure that
we'll make sure
our screen share actually switches over. So there's a little lag here. Forget setting goals. Focus on this instead.
Yes.
So I'm reading to you, but you can read along. We all have things that we want to achieve in our lives. Getting into better shape, building a successful business, raising a wonderful family, writing a best-selling book, winning a championship, and so on. Best-selling book. Here's if we have anyone in a company that wants to write
a best-selling book.
All the other ones I can really relate to. That's a hard one. Anyway. And for most of us, the path to those things starts by setting a specific and actionable goal. At least this is how I approached my life until recently. I would set goals for classes I took, for weights that I wanted to lift in the gym, and for clients I wanted in my business. What I'm starting to realize, however, is that when it comes to actually getting things done and making progress in the areas that are important to you, there's a much better way to do things. It all comes down to the difference between goals and systems. Let me explain. You guys probably know I talk about systems a lot, and that's why this really resonated with me, this whole article that we're reading to you guys, because I love systems.
Yeah, systems are key.
The difference between goals and systems. What is the difference between goals and systems? If you're a coach, your goal is to win a championship. Your system is what your team does at practice each day. If you're a writer, your goal is to write a book. Your system is the writing schedule that you follow each week. If you're a runner, your goal is to run a marathon. Your system is your training schedule for the month. If you're an entrepreneur, such as yourselves, your goal is to build $1 million business. Your system is your sales and marketing process. Now, for the really interesting question, if you completely ignored your goals and focused only on your system, would you still get results? For example, if you were a basketball coach and you ignored your goal to win championship and only focused on what your team does at practice each day, would you still get results? I think you would.
And that we agree with.
Yes.
Completely.
I totally believe in process and systems and doing the daily habits. As an example, I just added up the total word count for the articles I've written this year. In the last 12 months, I've written over 115,000 words. The typical book is about 50,000 to 60,000 words. So I have written enough to fill 2 books this year. All of this is such a surprise because I never set a goal for my writing. I didn't measure my progress in relation to some benchmark. I never set a word count goal for any particular article. I never said, I want to write 2 books this year. What I did focus on was writing 1 article every Monday and Thursday. And after sticking to that schedule for 11 months, the result was 115,000 words. I focused on my system and the process of doing the work. In the end, I enjoyed the same, or perhaps better, results. Let's talk about 3 more reasons. Oh, where'd it go? I just lost my spot.
Yeah, it skipped.
Let's talk about 3 more reasons why you should focus on systems instead of goals. Goals reduce your current happiness. When you're working towards a goal, you're essentially saying, I'm not good enough yet, but I will be when I reach my goal. The problem with this mindset is that you're teaching yourself to always put happiness and success off until the next milestone is achieved. Once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. Once I achieve my goal, then I'll be successful. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And how, again, it's the process, because you reach that goal and most of the time it's I did it. But that's a one moment thing that I did it.
Right. And the pursuit is the happiness. The process is the happiness.
Yeah, totally. Solution, commit to a process, not a goal. Choosing a goal puts a huge burden on your shoulders. Can you imagine if I had made it my goal to write 2 books this year? Just writing that sentence stresses me out. But we do this to ourselves all the time. We place unnecessary stress on ourselves to lose weight, or to succeed in business, or to write a best-selling novel. Instead, you can keep things simple and reduce stress by focusing on the daily process and sticking to your schedule, rather than worrying about the big life-changing goals. When you focus on the practice instead of the performance, you can enjoy the present moment and improve at the same time. 2, goals are strangely at odds with long-term progress. You might think your goal will keep you motivated over the long term, but that's not always true. Consider someone training for a half marathon. Many people work hard for months, but as soon as they finish the race, they stop training.
I know this about so many people and so many different things, not just sports.
Yep. Their goal is to finish the half marathon, and now that they have completed it, that goal is no longer there to motivate them. When all of your hard work is focused on a particular goal, what is left to push you forward after you achieve it? This can create a type of yo-yo effect where people go back and forth from working on a goal to not working on one. This type of cycle makes it difficult to build upon your progress for the long term. Solution: release the need for immediate results. I was training at the gym last week and I was doing my second to last set of clean and jerks. When I hit that rep, I felt a small twinge in my leg. It wasn't painful or an injury, just a sign of fatigue near the end of my workout. For a minute or two, I thought about doing my final set. Then I reminded myself that I planned to do this for the rest of my life and decided to call it a day. In a situation like the one above, a goal-based mentality will tell you to finish the workout and reach your goal. After all, if you set a goal and you don't reach it, then you feel like a failure. But with a systems-based mentality, I had no trouble moving on. Systems-based thinking is never about hitting a particular number. It's about sticking to the process and not missing workouts. Not missing workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That is
It's key.
If you're writing note cards, consistency.
Yep.
Do them every day. Not 5, not 10.
One a day.
Do them.
Do your monthly newsletter. Send out your postcards. Do your magazine.
Every day.
Every
year.
Yep.
But with a systems-based mentality, I had no trouble moving on. Systems-based thinking is never about hitting a particular number. It's about sticking to the process and not missing the workouts. Of course, I know that if I never miss a workout, then I will lift bigger weights in the long run. And that's why systems are more valuable than goals. Goals are about the short-term result. Systems are about the long-term process. In the end, process always wins. Number 3, goals suggest that you can control things that you have no control over.
I love number 3.
You can't predict the future.
Shocking.
We really can't predict the future.
Gosh. And yeah, when I read this in preparation for the Tuesday talk and we pulled all this content last week, I read number 3 and I was like, so appropriate for 2020.
Wow. But every time we set a goal, we try to do it. We try to plan out where we will be and when we will make it there. We try to predict how quickly we can make progress, even though we have no idea what circumstances or situations will arise along the way. Solution: build feedback loops.
I'd like to know how many people have something like this in place.
This is great. Each Friday, I spend 15 minutes filling out a small spreadsheet with the most critical metrics for my business. For example, in one column, I calculate the conversion rate, the percentage of website visitors that join my free email newsletter each week. I rarely think about this number, but checking that column each week provides a feedback loop that tells me if I'm doing things right. When that number drops, I know that I need to send high quality traffic to my site. Feedback loops are important for building good systems because they allow you to keep track of many different pieces without feeling the pressure to predict what's going to happen with everything. Forget about predicting the future and build a system that can signal you when you need to make adjustments.
Yeah, and we talked about this in Buffini as well. We are harping on everybody to track every little thing they do during the course, because then you can look at the results you received in that 8-week period of time and say you got 2 buyers in a listing and maybe your goal is to double that. Well, you can look at the activities that it took to get you there and you can do twice as many. And how do you know?
If you don't know what you did.
Exactly.
If there's anyone here who's ever done P90X, what's his name?
Tony Horton.
Tony Horton. He tells you to track your weights.
Yeah. So you know.
So how many reps you did, how much the weight it was, because as he says in his little whiny voice, is how do you know what you did if you didn't write it down, and how you know where you're going to go if you didn't write it down?
If you didn't know what you did.
If you didn't know what you did. Yeah. I mean, it's just. If anyone's ever done it, comment and say, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because he's
Tony
pretty fun.
Horton, exactly.
Lifting weights, writing notes, doing your job, doing your workout I mean, if you don't track stuff, have a feedback loop, how are you going to know what you're doing?
Exactly.
How are you going to know what works?
How do you know what works and what doesn't work? And when you're redoing your systems each year or every 6 months or reassessing each quarter, how do you know what to add and what to take away? And you don't unless you're tracking.
The old adage, if you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you're going to keep getting the same results you've always gotten.
Yeah.
Well, that might be great if you like the results you're getting, but if you don't know what you did to get those, or if you're not happy with the results and you don't know, you got to track.
Well, and my favorite thing is when I'm talking to you guys and you say, you know, I just got this buyer out of nowhere and I just got these 2 listings that popped up out of the blue. And I said, nothing popped up out of the blue. What have you been doing? Oh, well, I did this and I did this and I did this. And they give me an entire list of all these things they've been doing. Well, you worked really hard for those leads. They didn't just pop up out of the blue. It's your systems and your processes that if you sow, you will reap.
So fall in love with systems.
Yes.
None of this is to say that goals are useless. However, I found that goals are good for planning your progress and systems are good for actually making progress. In fact, I'm going to officially declare 2014 Year of the Sloth so that everyone will be forced to slow down and make consistent, methodical progress rather than chasing sexy goals for a few weeks and then flaming out. Goals can provide direction and even push you forward in the short term, but eventually a well-designed system will always win. Having a system is what matters. Committing to the process is what makes the difference.
So yeah,
we
pulled this article out of the archives. We taught a class in person at the office literally like 6 years ago on this. We revisited the topic back in 2017 again. And I thought, you know, it just, as we're coming into a new year and things just look and feel so different than they ever have, let's talk about systems and processes and help you guys with that goal setting, because it is important to know what ultimately you're trying to achieve, but then to break it down into bite-sized chunks that every single day, you know, I'm going to do this. Every single week, you know, I'm going to do this. And every single month you have things and milestones already set in place.
I like it.
Do you guys like it?
I hope you guys like it.
I hope you guys like it.
And I think that's a good way to wrap up this year's Tuesday Talks. I mean, we haven't missed very many of these. We took a couple weeks off for vacation, but we were even doing this in Hawaii on our vacation. I mean,
at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so I've enjoyed the Tuesday Talks. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the Tuesday Talks.
Yeah, hopefully you've gotten a lot out of them.
All right. Guys, have a great rest of your day, great week. Yeah. And if you need us, we're here.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
See ya.
Have a good one. Bye.